Good afternoon. This is the Benny Hanna Show. It is your host, Benny Hanna, reporting to you live. It is Wednesday. I want to say it's October. Let me get it right. Wednesday, October. Come on. The 4th. It's October the 4th. And I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Please, if you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. And we're about to get started. So, I woke up this morning and I turned on the news and I wake up to this. So, about 9:30 last night in Baltimore at Morgan State University, 5 people were shot and injured. From my knowledge, nobody has died. And also, the shooter or shooters is still at large. When I looked at this morning on their websites, they're always changing the news. They're always changing the videos. It was a longer video. But this newscaster is going to tell you more information about what happened last night. I just gave you a gist of it, but I do want you to know that Morgan State University is in the trenches. It is in the hood. And there's a lot of when I was in college, there was a lot of people from New Jersey, PG, DC, Philadelphia, New York. There's a lot of different people come from different places, right? So you have to be mindful about where you're at. Like, Baltimore got a name. And one thing about Baltimore, from me riding in Baltimore, from me knowing people in Baltimore in general, Baltimore as a whole is the trenches. It has its good pockets here and there, but the city itself is in the trenches. When you go into Baltimore City off of 95 and go into the harbor, especially, when you ride into the city, I lie to you not, when you ride into the city, you see the dope fiends right when you go in the city. Because it's like, if my geography's right, the nicer areas in the city are actually like Fells Point and like the power plant. People from Baltimore in the area will have idea what I'm talking about. But the geography in general, all that stuff is on the outer banks of the city area where the harbor is. But when you go into the city, you could just feel it. Like, there's a lot of from my personal experience, there are a lot of good people that I have met from Baltimore. They've been cool. Pretty much the ones I've met, if you ain't doing too much, they ain't messing with you for real. Of course, you got your here's and there's. You always got your bad apples. But there's some dudes out there that are real thorough, that if you just chilling about your business, they can already tell that you're not from the city just by of course, the lingo. So, but, it is what it is. Shout out to Baltimore. Baltimore County. Shout out to them. Howard County, shout out to them too. But yeah, let's get this video rolling.
Exactly right, and we're going to talk with him in just a moment. But first, I just want to let people know exactly where this happened. It happened in the scene behind me here, right in front of Thurgood Marshall Residence Hall, and it happened as the Murphy Fine Arts Center, which I am facing right now, was packed to capacity for homecoming activities. There were hundreds of people inside. There were people outside milling about when those shots were fired, and for a time, they thought this might have been an active shooter. Police, Baltimore City Police involved, Morgan State University Police, along with the FBI and ATF, did an extensive extensive search of the building behind me here, and they determined that no one was inside. But at this point, it's not clear how many shooters may have been involved in this situation last night. Can you imagine getting that phone call that this university where your child goes has had this sort of situation happen? That is exactly what Jose Verdejo faced last night, and you drove from New Jersey to get your freshman daughter.
Yes.
You heard from a family friend that this happened?
Yes.
What went through your mind?
Oh, it was a jarring phone call. I was automatic, you just automatically call your child and pray that they're okay.
You drove from New Jersey. You felt very strongly you wanted to come and get your kid.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Not only just come get her, but to be here with her.
She's a freshman. She was in the library at the time. You actually had to tell her what was happening. She hadn't had a notice yet?
No. She didn't know. When I called her, she said they weren't letting her out the library, letting the students out of the library, and I told her there was an active shooter. So then I could hear her turn around and tell the rest, oh, there's a shooting, because she said they didn't hear gunshots from the library. So I told her to stay away from the windows, and then I told her I'm going to call you back. I called my wife and said, we have to head out to the school. Then I called my daughter, let her know we were on her way.
How is she doing?
She's okay. She's afraid to go back to her room right now. She's, a little anxious.
And as a parent, you let your daughter go away to school, then you get a call like this. You're right. You're not happy right now.
Well, I'm not happy because if this is really the third year in a row that this has happened during homecoming week, there should have been a lot more security presence. One time you can understand, maybe the second time, but now after, it happened again last year, this year, they should have been ready for something like this. They didn't even apprehend the person, so it's like they were sleeping.
Are you taking her home, or are you going to stay with her for the next couple of days?
Well, we don't know yet because I want to speak to the faculty, the authorities in the school. I want to know how am I going to feel comfortable? How are they going to make me feel comfortable leaving my daughter behind?
You need some reassurance.
Yes.
Mr. Verdejo, thank you so much for sharing your story with us this morning. Certainly appreciate it. I'm glad to know that your daughter is okay.
Thank you so much.
They have canceled classes here on campus today, and they have counselors available for anyone who needs it. Megan, we're going to send it back to you because we do have live team coverage out here of this event.
Yeah, Jen, emotional reaction from that parent there. I know, very concerned. And we continue our team coverage with Janine Donaldson, who is also at Morgan State this morning. And Janine, school president Dr. David Wilson has already canceled classes, as we just heard, for all students and faculty. And what's the latest that you're hearing from them?
Well, right now, as you said, classes are canceled. It's not clear how homecoming will proceed. This is a week-long event, and the event that was taking place last night, as Jen was describing, was coronation. And right in front of me is the Fine Arts Building. That's Carl J. Murphy. That's where the coronation takes place. If you look behind me, this is where the dorms are located on campus, and some of the students were headed in this direction. You pass the dorms, and then you keep heading straight down the path, and that's where you get to the student centers. Dr. David Wilson saying that's where students were headed when the shooting started. They were heading to the student center after coordination. Some students saying that they not only heard the gunshots, but could hear them actually hitting some of the glass on the building. President Dr. David Wilson described the coronation last night as a, quote, unbelievably beautiful event, saying that, again, students were headed to the Student Center afterward when that shooting started. He says he met with students and some parents and even helped escort some students safely back to their dorms last night. And this is a huge week for Morgan. Homecoming draws thousands of students, alumni, their families back to the campus, and folks from the community, but it also raises a lot of crucial money for the school, and right now it's not clear how that will proceed. Take a listen to what Dr. Wilson had to say early this morning.
I can also say that I have canceled classes here at Morgan for tomorrow, and we will be assessing what will happen for the rest of the homecoming week as early as tomorrow morning, and will duly inform you and others of any decisions that we make in that regard.
It was mentioned just a few moments ago that this has happened in the past before. The past 2 years, there were shootings on campus on homecoming day. That's the event that takes place on Saturday, and that prompted rule changes this year. For instance, going into the football game this year, you have to have a clear plastic bag. I know several of the buildings on campus that are typically open were going to be closed, and this is a public campus. It typically stays open all the time. However, they were going to shut campus down early. All events had to be closed down early this year, so it was already some rule changes taking place. Right now, it's not clear how it will affect homecoming activities moving forward for this week, but we do expect to hear more from Dr. Wilson later this morning addressing that very issue. For now, live from Morgan State University, I'm Janine Donaldson for WBAL TV 11 News.
Janine, thank you for that information. And remember to stay with 11 News for the latest updates by downloading our free WBAL TV mobile app. And don't forget to turn on.
So you hear it from the two newscasters. They did a great job. What I would like to say is that stuff like this has been going on around that area for a long time. Like I said, Morgan is in the hood. Don't ever get that twisted. And when you are researching places to go, because Morgan does have great majors and great programs. There's a lot of people that are very successful that went to Morgan, that did their undergrad and master's programs and stuff like that. So I don't want to take anything away from the school, because I know people that went there and they're very successful right now, from the programs that they did and the majors that they chose for Morgan that they really specialized in. But when you're doing the research on the area, please research the area as much as you can, man, because Baltimore, especially right now, since the pandemic, especially, them youngins going wild, man. There's a lot of wild stuff. You got a lot of young adults just getting into, adulthood, and a whole bunch of, I gotta prove this to you and prove that, and a whole bunch of ego. So, we gotta reel in some of these young adults, and even some of the dudes and women going to the school, man, if you are from the hood and you trying to go to college, or if you from the suburb, wherever you from, and you got that type of mentality, that type of, oh yeah, I gotta prove this, man, leave that stuff at home, man. Leave that stuff. You in college, you trying to get an education, hopefully. You're trying to get a good education and go on with your career. So, yeah, this is another sad instance. Maybe they'll catch somebody soon. But I do believe the gentleman, I want to say his name was Jose, and his daughter. He was really worried about his daughter. But look, the library did what they supposed to do. They locked down the whole library, kept them inside there, and tried to protect them as much as possible. Like, also, you can have as much security as you want to have somewhere. I know on the weekends, I've been to plenty of Morgan homecomings. I've been to some years ago, and it might be different now, but I remember a lot of the stuff, there was a lot of stuff to do. There was some stuff to do because I wasn't there during the week. I'll probably go there like on a Friday or a Thursday to get tickets to go do something. But when I got my tickets, it wasn't to go do anything on campus. They have stuff that goes on off campus as well at Morgan University as well. So I don't know how they have it set up now. But that campus is spread out, man. Like, you can only do but so much. You can only patrol but so much, because like I said, I know people that was going up there and they was like, yeah, people was getting robbed. They was going in the alleys. Man, you got to be vigilant when you're in areas like that, for sure. You got to be vigilant everywhere. Don't ever sleep just because you're in the suburbs. Oh, it's sweet or whatever. Like, just be on the lookout for things. But I'm praying for the people that were injured in the shooting. I'm praying for their families. I'm praying for Morgan, the school itself, and everybody there. And just be careful, and y'all keep doing what y'all do, and y'all be safe out there. If you like the content, and please like and subscribe. And I am Benny Hanna. This is the Benny Hanna Show. Y'all make sure y'all have a good day. Until the next time, peace.